Oh my gosh, school is about to be over. And for some of you guys, it already is. You know what happens during summer break? The kids are home. I have a hard time getting enough time to record something like a podcast or a YouTube video. They're about to be home all summer and eat me out of house and home. So, welcome back to the Family First Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Heather Blake. Really, I started thinking about this and I was like, if I'm thinking about this, then all of you are thinking about this. It's that, I'm a mom, I have a family, I am trying to run a business, and at the same time, my gosh, I have to make sure I get all the groceries. I have to provide enough for my kids that just never stop eating. They are going to want to do stuff. Mom, let's go to the water park. Mom, let's go to the pool. Mom, let's do this. Mom, can we go on a picnic? Mom, can you watch my babies while I'm... Okay. It just doesn't stop. I have two 16-year-olds and an 8-year-old. And I'm fully prepared for summer because I'm sick of bringing them to school every day. I would like a nice little vacation from making sure I don't bring them all to school every day. But I do get up to make sure my 16-year-olds get on the bus most days. They catch the bus just before 7 a.m. I get up, make sure they are out the door, and then I go back upstairs, usually lay down in bed for a few minutes, and then I wake up the 8-year-old. And I am kind of ready for a break from this same thing happening day after day after day. Often we don't even get to sleep in on weekends. So those are super busy too. And I've been painting my house and all those things. And sports and. So do you find time? Do you not find time? Where do you find time to, despite the kids being home, work on your business? Do your kids go to a camp or something? My two older kids are actually going to start their first real summer job. So they will be working there. And then come August, my son is actually going away on vacation with his girlfriend's family. This is kind of scary, okay? Whew, that I have a child that's old enough to do this is just a little much for me. And then he starts football right afterwards. The 8-year-old, she'll be home saying, Mom, I'm bored all the time. We do spend a lot of time out at the pool. And a friend of hers will be coming once or twice a week, maybe, probably once a week. Maybe not every week though, to come and hang out with her. So maybe I can actually get something done during those days. It's a lot. It's a lot to try to juggle. During school time, I know what's happening. I still have a lot to do, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way. There's still a lot to do, but at least you know between the hours that they're at school that you have this time to do certain things. Whether it's, I like to run to the grocery store while they're gone. First thing, I drop my daughter off and then I go to the grocery store. Either that or I place a Walmart pickup order online and I pick it up after I pick her up from school. But those things are things like I can figure out through my day. When they're home during the summer, it's a lot harder to structure in that time. And one thing I really want to say is do not feel guilty if you have a hard time structuring in that focus time. So I always talk about 2 hours of focus time and how important that is for your business. So either 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week, roughly, to get your business going. Once you're full-time in your business, if you're able to do more than that, then that is amazing. I do personally do more than that right now, but not every week. There are some weeks that I choose not to. And then there's weeks where I choose to do a lot more because I have ADHD. And as soon as my brain walks away and I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, oh, let's go work. And so I end up coming to do work. But so if you can, sorry, I'm going off on a little tangent. I think this is kind of a yap style video here. No real structure, no actual bullet points, which is what I normally do in a video. But what I want to say is that you just don't feel guilty if you can't get that time in. You can miss out on deadlines sometimes. You can step away from your business and make your family your focus sometimes. Yes, you do try to figure out the balance of when can I do a little bit more in my business? When can I do a little more as family? It doesn't mean equal all the time. That's not what I mean like by balance. That is so like that's thinking about the scales like this. When I say balance, I mean like the scales are constantly always working one with the other. One gets a little bit more attention, the other one, and maybe sometimes they are like that equal balance. But the process of the scales actually getting to balance is an up and down motion. And that is sometimes there's a little more of family time and sometimes there's a little more work time. So I do not want you to feel guilty if you're like, I can't get those 10 hours in my business or more if that's what you think you need. Because you're prioritizing your family, and that's okay. That is okay to prioritize your family. This time of the year, that is something we absolutely need to do. That is why we're trying to create these like family focused businesses, right? You want to build a business around your life, not a business that dictates your life, right? So if you need to give a little more time to your family, then you give them more time to your family. They're home. Let's do that. At the same time, you're thinking, oh gosh, they're going to eat me out of house and home. They're going to be telling me how bored they are sometimes. And I'm sorry, I can't really help you with that. Other than to say, pickup orders, DoorDash orders, I'm not sure, whatever you use. Delivery, like HelloFresh, whatever that is. If you can, so instead of like thinking I have to go to the store and oh my gosh, I have to bring my kids to the store with me. I hate doing that. I strongly dislike doing that. Then maybe place those online pickup orders or an order for delivery. And do your grocery shopping and stuff that way. So that way you're saving some time there. It's one less place that you have to cart your kids to. And maybe that's your time to be able to like focus in on your business. If you can do something in your day where I don't know how old, depending on the age of your children, you can say, I need this amount of time to be able to do something. And like maybe it's watch this video while I do this. And as soon as I'm done with that, then we can go to the pool or go to the splash pad, whatever it is. But just openly communicate with your children. Even if they're super little, still do it. It doesn't mean that they understand fully. It doesn't mean that they will listen fully, but it can help you having open communication with your children from the very beginning. I always explained everything to my kids. Well, I mean, obviously not everything, but I explained things like when my son was little and he was like 3 years old and, Mommy, why you go to work? And I'm like, I have to go to work so I can make money, so I can pay the bills, so I can buy food. And then, I'd explain it to him in a way he understood. When he got a little bit older, my then stepdaughter, well, not quite stepdaughter at that point, but, she was my now husband's daughter at the time. She would say, Mommy, because at that time, Mama. She would say, Mama, why are you going? And I would say, or I would start to say, but never could, because my son would interrupt and he would say, she got to go to work, make money, pay the bills. And, they hear it. they might not fully understand it, but they hear it. And so what you tell them, they'll listen to. And so if you need time to yourself, just talk about it in language they can understand. Sometimes you need quiet time. Mommy needs quiet time right now. Can you give me a few minutes? I'm going to put on this timer. And when the timer goes off, then we can do something together and maybe set it for 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it is that you need to do. And maybe they'll listen, maybe they won't, but I think that's a really good way to program in, and using things that reinforce, like the timer. When the timer goes off, or watch this show, and when the show is done, something like that, something that they can actually, like, tangible. They hear it, they see it when the show is done. You can even on like YouTube, there's different videos that you could put in, like timer videos that have like music playing, and it's like 30-minute timer for kids. And you play that, and there's 30 minutes of music that they can play, listen to that music, and when that ends, they know that the time is over and they can go see mommy. Different things, just things like that, simple things that can help, communicating with them and giving them something, because you need to be able to have some time that's uninterrupted. Something that I love to do during the summer is we have this little balcony on the back of our house. It used to be a 2-family house, and so it was the upstairs entrance. So it was the entrance to the second floor apartment. So we took off the stairs, and now it's just a balcony, and it looks over my backyard and looks over the pool. And I love to sit out there and work. So the kids can play in the yard, and I can sit up there in the shaded area with the nice breeze, the beautiful fresh air, and I can work from there. And just figure out what works. You have a business, so you can be flexible. You have a business, so you can spend time with your kids. You have a business, so you can live your life. And I just want to make sure that, yes, there are things about the summer that we're in school vacation that we're absolutely looking forward to, but there's also things that sometimes stress us out, and you just gotta deal with it, figure it out. I just gave a bunch of suggestions of different things you can do. But like I said, if they're going to eat out of house and home, I'm sorry. I really can't help with that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I am really, actually, now that I'm realizing this, excited that my son has a job and he can buy himself his lunch on his lunch break, because that boy can eat. He's just about, or has hit 6'1", 16 years old. He is a lineman, an offensive lineman through and through. Think about those big dudes on the offensive line in high school football. Yeah, that's my kid. That boy can eat. My daughter can too, actually, the youngest. The older daughter, she's not a big eater. Never has been. But my youngest, she can eat too. But she is gluten intolerant and has a dairy allergy. And one of the most amazing things I did this year, this has nothing to do with the summer vacation thing, but I'm going to tell you this. So in Massachusetts, we have a free lunch program. The state mandates that you have to provide healthy, nutritious meals for all children, and that they will reimburse the school. The state gives money back from our taxes, obviously, maybe some federal grants as well. The state will reimburse the kids as long as it follows certain guidelines. Well, my daughter could never eat any of the meals. She's vegetarian, she's gluten intolerant, and she has a dairy allergy. So last year, we started working on getting her meals. At this time, she wasn't 100% vegetarian, so fewer meat options and more plant-based protein options, as well as dairy-free and gluten-free meals. The gluten-free wasn't the hard part. They offer pasta and bread and things like that are gluten-free. The hard part was that I swear they put cheese on every darn thing. And that we took a little bit of time to get that figured out. And this year, the new person in charge of the program for who decides, the menu and stuff for her is amazing. First of all, the new director was absolutely willing to do this. The prior years, when I told the previous director of like food and beverage that my daughter didn't want to have meat, she said the only way they can provide meatless meals is if her pediatrician sent them a note saying that she had to have meatless options. Otherwise, the only like meatless thing they would do would be sun butter. So this year they've been working on it, and they have gotten, so the last 3 months all her meals have been completely meatless, so 100% plant-based, dairy-free, gluten-free. And she eats lunch every single day at school. So now I have to go back to buying all her gluten-free alternatives or making them. Buying or making all of her gluten-free items, her dairy-free items, or dairy alternative items. That's a lot. Man, I just got spoiled these last few months. I really am like, oh, as much as I love cooking and I love doing stuff like this, it is a lot to add on, making sure we already make so many meals from scratch because I have a corn allergy and her allergies. So now adding in lunch, it's a lot. And dairy-free, gluten-free products are expensive. Okay, let's see. Can we turn this around? But I absolutely get to spend more time with my kids this summer. I get to have some fun. I love hanging out by the pool with them. I love experiencing sitting on the balcony and watching my kids and their friends just having a great time in the backyard. If you haven't read it, I'm like, where is the book? Oh, I think it's in the background over here. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Now, I've always appreciated things, but this book teaches you a lot of financial stuff. But one of the things it teaches you or talks to you about is living a rich life and feeling like you have a rich life no matter the dollar amount that you have. And that is one of the things that makes me feel rich. Just getting to, like, I appreciate it so much standing out on that balcony and watching my kids play in the backyard. I've watched so many wiffle ball tournaments as my son and his friends have grown up. My daughters with their friends on the trampolines, hanging out with a picnic in the backyard. And having a business allows me to be able to experience these things. I don't have to go to work and miss out while my kids are at daycare or something. I get to actually experience this. And that is one of the great things about summer vacation. I don't know yet if we're going to go away or do anything. My youngest has been asking if we can go camping by the beach again. We went to one of the Great Lakes and went to a New York State campground that is right on the beach. And it was one of the best places we've ever been. We haven't gone to Disney or anything like that, or at least the kids haven't. I have. But I would put hanging out at the beach like that way above anything like that. And that is what my daughter has asked to do this year. So we'll see if we can figure out where we can schedule it in between the kids' schedules with new jobs, sports, my husband's job. We'll have to see where we can fit this in. So that is this episode of the Family First Entrepreneur podcast. Oh, before we go, I really want to tell you, if you haven't joined the waitlist already, get on the waitlist. I'm developing a community called for moms in business. It might be called Moms in Business. I haven't 100% decided. Where it looks at us as a whole, our holistic being. We are not just moms. We are not just business owners. We are not taxi drivers and chefs, and we're not women in our 40s or however old we are, or women trying to lose weight. We are all of those things. We are a holistic being. And I'm creating a community that doesn't try to segregate those out, that it tries to encompass all of them and look at how being a mom affects us as a business owner, doing this affects us as a business owner, how being a business owner affects us as a mom or as a chef for our family. It is the holistic look at everything that we are. And I am going to have some trainings in there, some group coaching in there. Maybe we'll even do some, book club or mindset work, maybe some meditation. I'm not sure what exactly we'll do. I want you guys to help me build it with me. If you want to join because you want to be a part of that community, join the waitlist. It's in the comments. And then also, if you're interested in possibly being a part of it and collaborating, being a guest speaker, doing a live workshop, offering a freebie inside the community, go ahead and join that waitlist as well. Because I want to work with all of you in order to make this community the best that it can be. It's going to be free. And join the waitlist. I am really looking forward to this because we can be our best support system for each other. See you next week on the Family First Entrepreneur Podcast.